か。せーの。My cabbages! Low, low, man. Oh, my cabbages!
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
What is up, everybody? Oh, man, that view. Let's go to this view because I'm totally not going to scuff this now that I'm back in the main studio. It is, of course, Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. We are up here in the house today, back in the main studio. All that earthquake damage has been repaired. We're back in business, baby. I'm so excited about that. So we're here today with another breaking update. Somali is out a lawyer, and he has gained a very pissed off victim. So we now have a very pissed off victim that has entered into this case, which is going to be something we're going to talk about today on the show. These are all official things. These have all happened. We have the records. We have the Carfax. So we're going to get into it today and get in all the details. We'll also do a quick refresher. Also, I am starting a new tactics/video series for my Somali coverage. So I am going to start a series called Fast Facts. And what I'm going to do, because I know that you guys, some people want a very condensed version. Many people love the live streams, they love the long, but they want a condensed version and they cannot wait 24 to 48 hours for the clips. They're way too impatient. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a very abbreviated version, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I will have that come out as soon as it's over or shortly when it's over. So as soon as the lives end and we have this discussion, we will have some fast information for people that want a very short summary. So that should appease everybody. That should make everybody happy. Of course, the news will always be breaking on my lives. So the first information will always be on my lives. But if you want a condensed, accurate version and not something that is saying something that shouldn't be said, you'll be able to get that, and I'm going to mark that appropriately. Let me find the first thumbnail I made here over here. Let's see, where'd I got that over here? But some people like the rambling, some people like the scuff, and if you like the scuff, you will always have a home at the Legal Mindset. Let's see, where is that one? Here we go. So here's the thumbnail I came up with, which I actually kind of like this one. This will be the first in the series. So the one for today will be over here. I'm going to try to mark it in this upper right-hand corner with the Fast Facts logo. So I'll try to tag it with that. So you'll be able to know it's a summary and it's a condensed version that'll come out very quick. So yeah. But I mean, I like the scuff. I think the scuff is great, and I have no complaints. None at all. Absolutely no.
Emotional, damn it.
I have none. We've also got some other stuff to review here. Some interesting stuff that's happened recently, but we'll get to that. Mr. Melancholy gave a Legal Mindset membership. Thank you. And also said, for two, Mr. Melancholy, it can always get worse for Cabbage Boy. Well, so far, according to the poll, 98% of you say it can get worse. So it may keep getting worse for Ramsey. Neko Girl said, I need a laugh today. Seeing he's already lost a lawyer made me crack up. Thank you. You are very welcome. I am happy to bring the entertainment. Spicy Caesar for 250. Philippine Peso says, I love the smell of Ramsey Khalid Imbecile in the morning. He just can't stop, guys. Now, I'm going to be on a bit of a vacation. Thank you, Ramsey, for sponsoring my vacation. I'm going to be on a bit of a vacation Saturday evening Asia time to about Wednesday or so, Wednesday, maybe Thursday. But I will still have some stuff coming out and some updates, and I will have some videos ready in case there's a delay of the trial. So I will have some stuff out there, but I will be taking a little bit of a break. So there might not be long live streams. There might just be shorter recorded videos. So it is what it is. But always, as always, your boy is here to bring you the best information as soon as possible. Robert Von Beek gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's give Ramsey a...
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I just woke up. Hey, good afternoon. Burning Earth Productions for 10 US says, hi there. First time tuning in. Hey, have you seen the footage of 50 Minutes of Shame where Somali is singing badly for North Korea's leader? Do you think you can indict it? No, that is misinformation. And I think a lot of people have been spreading that. And frankly, that's why I say you should listen to what I say primarily. I consult pretty regularly with it's not just my own opinion. I'm consulting with a team of people, many of which you've seen. I mean, you've seen Dr. Ulrich, other folks. So I'm consulting with a lot of folks, including lawyers in Korea or expat lawyers. There's friends that have experienced in the Korean criminal system. So there's some things that people on the internet, especially Americans, want to happen. But what you want to happen is not what will happen. And I am generally focused on what will happen. So that is something that we are not likely to see. It's very unlikely that people get punished for things like singing an anthem on a live stream, especially in a comedic way, etc. Now, is it technically possible? Yes, but I'm not focused on the possibility. I'm focused on the probable. So I do not think that's going to happen because here's the thing. He was investigated already for this and they haven't brought the charge. And the things he did before were very clearly problematic and an issue. And he was praising Kim Jong-un and playing Korean propaganda and doing that. He's been doing that since the beginning. So if he was going to be locked up for that, he would have already been locked up for that. And beyond that, we know he's not a North Korean agent. Actually, he's just someone that's trying to say something incendiary. So yeah, just that's my thoughts on that. A little bit fleshed out there, but my thoughts. Jan Kruger. So for 10 says, IRL streamers invented reverse Big Brother. They vote themselves in with their actions, and all the videos are only applications of staying longer in prison while we can all catch the drama. There you go. They just love getting in trouble. Anthony says, yay, RKI pushing for life, and the victims are pushing for as much as they can. This is really good. Alex Lane for €5 says, hello, I'm going on vacation to Thailand. Well, I'm in Thailand right now. It's a lovely place. In a couple of months, do you have any advice on what to watch out for, not to bother people on the cultural side? No, I think, especially Thailand, people are very understanding of different cultures and people coming from everywhere else. Be respectful, be polite. Don't assume that the way that you've done it is always the way you're going to do it. If you do that, if you're polite, that's going to go a long way. Learn a little bit of Thai. They always love that. Any language, any place you visit. Learn a little bit. Learn hello, thank you, sawasdee kap, kopun kap. Little stuff goes a long way. And it shows that you've taken 2 milliseconds of your time to try to learn about that country. So don't worry about it. Just come and have fun. And I guarantee you, you will have a lot of fun. Proxy says maybe RKI can consider taking a kayak to Hawaii with how far he's counted himself. I think it's already coming to China. Big Buddhist for gifted 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you. And Corinthian gifted 10 Legal Mindset memberships. I think it's time for that.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Luna Sashira for 5 says, first time catching a stream. Welcome. RKO for a poor girl, the punch one. Yeah. I will show this. This is actually a clip that was from France. So this is not related to RKI, but just to show you that, nuisance streamer or nuisance sort of behavior and aggressive behavior doesn't just happen in Asia. This was actually in Toulouse, France, where there was a Korean streamer here, and she just seems to have been randomly attacked by somebody while she was streaming, which is kind of crazy. I'm just going to play this video here. This is pretty insane.
Huh?
Just
That's for blood. What was that?
just super freaking random. I'm not sure what was going on there, but that came across my desk. And once again, that was Toulouse, France. So this stuff can happen anywhere. You know, crazy stuff can happen all around the world. Obviously, not in support of that. And I'm definitely in support of folks going and getting punishment for any sort of activity of that sort. Yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Purple Spark Alice gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate the kindness and the donation. Thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
Mick Zulian for 100 Argentina says, hi, just joined the stream. Welcome. Have you spoken of any news? Just getting started. Just getting warmed up. I like to let everybody get in. There's about almost 4,000 people here, so I'm going to get started in just a minute. Just catching up on a couple of these large super chats, and we'll get going. And we are going to go through all of them, of course, guys. Don't you worry. Greetings from Argentina. Sending my puny less than 10 cents. It's all appreciated. Also, it's free to like the channel, so do that. Luminous became a new member, and we have a big donation from Cat Weasel Gaming with 50 Legal Mindset memberships. Gonna send Johnny and Hank the 2 dislikes on the video.
You are coping to see them. You just can't believe what you're seeing.
A lot of cope from those guys as people who cover their downfall profit. I'm here for the scuff, says Scuff. I have been summoned. I did not scuff today. I'm all good. Elf by Ava for 5 says, Andrew, what has happened? Great to catch you on stream. Hey, welcome, Ava. Glad to be here. Great lawyer VTuber. Rayobi said, you're at the same time as side scrollers. I have a dilemma. You need to stay here for mangoes and cabbages. There's no other option. And maybe we'll even throw in some durian. Huh? The king of fruits, durian. Axie for 5 says, bro's about to learn how a hot Korean summer is in the cabbage fields. Let's fucking go, chat. All right, let's start this today. I've got more stuff. I want to play this video. This was actually something that's new, and this is something from Johnny, and he is talking about what he did in Japan. Now, of course, he is very unrepentant. This is new footage. This is footage from, I believe, today, talking with Das Gazdom. I don't know who this guy is, but just listen up to what Johnny has to say about what he did in Japan and how he was bringing African American culture to Japan.
Do you think what you did was wrong in Japan?
I'll say this. I tried to bring them African American culture.
So the question was, do you think what you did was wrong? And him smiling says, I was bringing African American culture to Japan. Just, yeah.
No,
what
the fuck are you talking about?
I try to show them freedom.
Yeah, Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
You dead ass made the black community look bad.
Yeah, I don't know if that's freedom. That's more like you were trying to clip farm. You were trying to.
You know what I got? You know what? Yes, I was trying to clip farm.
So, yeah, he even admits that he's trying to clip farm. That being, say, ridiculous things in order to get people to make clips, and then he gets attention, and then he gets more viewers, right? Which is the clip farming 101, obviously, invented by Ice Poseidon and that crew, but Johnny as kind of ilk of that. So, once again, quite the loser, and once again, showing he is unrepentant, which, if this was a time in which he wasn't facing legal ramifications, this would be something I wouldn't even bring up. But the thing is, you can see by the fact that he is unrepentant of any of his crimes, that gives the court in South Korea more reason to punish him harshly, because it needs to give this guy some consequences for his actions. McZulian became a new member. Welcome. Piotr Suvala for 5 Legal Minds and memberships. Piotr, thank you so much. And thank you for being a longtime supporter. And I remember all my longtime supporters. You are very much appreciated, Piotr. So thank you for those 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Luminous Artist says, what are your thoughts on Johnny possibly taking the easier way out? I don't think I can see him having the mental capacity to accept what he's done. Sorry if the question is inappropriate. We need to be very careful about that. My video on Logan Paul, even though I was I was very clear that I in no way support. I am strongly opposed to any form of self-harm, and I do not condone it. And you should call somebody for help if you need that. That one got flagged and taken down for just covering the legal aspect and the YouTube TOS aspect of it. So I don't really appreciate. I think we should stay away from that. I'm not angry with you. We need to be very careful with that topic. And I don't think that's something he would do. And of course, I don't encourage that at all. Big Buddhist for 2 says no scuff yet. None. Ruby said France is the New Jersey of Europe. That's rough. Eric H gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much for that. Let's get a emotional cabbage. I do love that one. I do love that clip. That is one of my that is unironically one of my favorite clips, and it's one of the most simple ones. Random Scroll says, what happened? Give me the quick version. Wait for the fast facts, which will come out just after this, that new series that I am doing, where I am summarizing everything afterwards. And that should make everybody happy. I never feel obliged to make everybody happy, but if there's something simple I can do, and it's relatively easy. So yeah, wait for that. It's going to come out right after this one ends. So whenever this one ends, that one will come out. Probably, I think we're looking at probably at this point, maybe like a 12:15 a.m., midnight, something like that. So it'll be out in another hour or so, I imagine. Kaiju Otaku says, not going to lie, the thought of RKI trying to paddle out of Incheon is hilarious. Knowing how big the boy is, I wonder how far he'd get. He wouldn't make it out of the bay with a paddle, and they're not going to give him, he said he was going to get an inflatable raft. He won't make it over the swells in the bay. He would get stranded on a like a sandbar, or essentially when the tide goes out, there's like entire islands that are created based on the huge tidal shift. The Incheon area has some of the hugest tidal variation. He would not make it out of the bay. He would not make it anywhere. Not to mention that if he got anywhere near the quote-unquote border, the North Koreans would pretty much end that trip really quick, if you know what I'm saying. Kettlefire Charmer Hilter says, is that lawyer that left Johnny the same one who is going after Johnny? If so, really makes my day. I'm going to get to that right now. We're going to get to that right now. Steven says, I put up a change.org page to bring Johnny and Vitaly home. That is not going to work, Steven. Good luck. Luther Harris for 10 says, bring African-American culture to Japan. I'm African-American, and there's no way that RKI represents anything about what the culture is. RKI doesn't represent the black community anyway, and everybody I've spoken to feels that way. I sat down with a new friend here who's Jamaican, and he's an expat over here, and he's disgusted by that, and he understands, and a lot of people understand. It's made people feel uncomfortable traveling, and it's made entire communities of people uncomfortable. It's made the Somali expat community uncomfortable. It's not good. Mick Zulian for 100 Argentina says, we all love the emotional cabbage. Yeah. M gifted 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Copeland Cobb, thank you for those 10. Proxy 4818 says, honestly, I know you've explained that Korea doesn't traditionally give out the max sentence, but they have to know they can't afford to mitigate the sentence with surrounding circumstance. We're going to talk about that because this victim stepping forward is absolutely the most aggravating thing, the thing that's going to make things worse. Remember, aggravating means making it worse. What we have today is possibly, in this case, aside from just new charges, aside from that, it is the most clear case for giving a maximum punishment or close to the maximum punishment. Hollowed Shrimp for 500 Argentina says, what do you do to look so awesome, based and cool every time you turn on stream? Good to be part of this awesome community. Thank you so much for that. I do try to clean up. I do try to shower and stay healthy. I've been going to the gym more. So, I fixed the lighting here. I had to reset up everything. My room was really damaged for the earthquake. And this is the first day I moved back in. It still smells a little like paint a little bit. So if I die of fume inhaling, it's been a nice ride, chat. It's been cool. But they messed up my camera, so I had to reset it. I think it's okay now. I think it's back to normal, but my light is further back now. So I think it looks all right, but I do try to make things look presentable. I think a lawyer should look presentable sometimes. Ray Obi says, I can see the future. RKI, after a long day of being glazed by Hank's frosting in his crank, Hank leaves RKI to the wolves in a foreign prison, but not before starting. It's just business. Stating it's just business. Pulling a cinder, eh? Joshua Villarreal for 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you. And then Mads Larson says, ooh, RKI does not see the FAFO. Thanks for amazing content. My pleasure. All right. We've got a lot more chats here, but I will get to all of them later because we need to get to the facts. Let's start this here. We've got a update, and of course, boys and girls, we've got the PowerPoint. We all have the PowerPoint. We all love the PowerPoint. All right, so this is today's update. And I am going to reiterate stuff from yesterday because I want to clarify. And there are some corrections. So this is the procedural update. So yesterday we saw the lawyer from the Eastern District officially register in the Western District. But today, here is the update. The public defender has been removed from the case. Once again, the public defender has been removed from the case. He has lost a lawyer. Yesterday, we were debating how they were going to handle it, and it was unclear. That today has been clarified. His lawyer, his private lawyer, will be handling all of it. This is legally likely because if you have a private lawyer, you are no longer qualified for a public defender. So if you have money to pay for an attorney, the state should not be paying for your attorney. We can tell this because there's two different ways for a public defender to step down. They can make a motion for the judge to remove them. They can ask to be removed, and the judge would generally grant that. Or they can kind of just be removed from the case without making that motion. And because there was no motion, because there was no action to try to ask them to get removed from the case, they were just kind of removed. It seems to be a function of the fact that he had a private attorney. So why is this bad? This is bad because this attorney that was in the Eastern District, this private attorney, his name is Guang Ho Choi or Choi Guang Ho. Once again, the East and the West have different ways of handling surnames. So they mix up the surname and first name. And they sometimes put surname first, last name first, and first name last. So however you want to say it, it doesn't really bother me. Whichever way you want to say Choi Guang Ho or Guang Ho Choi, whichever way. But he didn't know about any of the other charges. He had no knowledge of these other charges. So now all of a sudden he went from just knowing about deepfakes, because that was all he knew about in the East, to now he's dealing with 2 obstruction charges, 2 violation of the Minor Crimes Act, and 2 deepfakes. So he has got a lot on his plate there, and he's doing all of it. Now, he, as I said yesterday, is primarily a tax litigator. Now, tax litigation can be civil or criminal. And I want to do something very important here. And this is something that I like to be honest about. I made a misstatement yesterday. And when I make a misstatement on this channel or anytime, I feel the professional and intellectual duty to make a correction, to make, a clarification. I think that's important. I think that, is important to make sure that it's clear. I made the statement that, and this was based on incorrect knowledge, that he had not been in a courtroom in 20 years. I believe I might have said criminal courtroom. It is now unclear whether he has been in a criminal courtroom, so I cannot tell whether he has been in a criminal courtroom, but he has been in a civil courtroom, and we have confirmed that he did have 5 cases that he tried recently. So it is incorrect to say, and I was wrong to say, that he had not been in a courtroom. That's not technically correct. He was in a civil courtroom at least 5 times. And all of those cases he lost. Now, do I know those are all of his cases? No. It's possible that he had criminal cases. He does have a pro bono tax practice where he represents kind of small businesses or other people that are fighting taxes. But I don't see that, and we haven't seen that in our further research. We haven't found anything, but it's possible. So I don't want to say he for sure hasn't, because it's possible. It is possible. Now, he lost those cases. I want to be very clear. that does look bad. However, remember, you are only as good as your client. And sometimes, like in the case of Ramzi Khalid Ismail, you just have a really bad client. And even a really good lawyer can lose if you have a bad client. He may just have had 5 really bad clients. And by the way, in all of these, he represented the plaintiff. So in all of these cases, he represented the plaintiff, not the defendant. And now those are the ones we found. There may be others, but that's just what we found. So I want to be clear about that. And I don't want to malign his competence. I just want to tell you what we found on this lawyer. So that's an update on that end. But the big news, I think, is that he's going to have this one lawyer, and this one lawyer really didn't know about all this other stuff and is now being hit with it. I've talked about yesterday the new charge. We talked about the charge coming in for the next deepfake. I am pretty confident that one of those deepfakes, almost 100%, is Bong Bong. Bong Bong IRL, the female victim, is almost 100% one of those victims. The other one is likely Dalgoon, or a Dalgoon plus a collection of the other Korean streamers. Bang TV, Jungman, all the other guys that are there. J Company, who I interviewed, guy with the glasses. So all those folks that I interviewed, Dalgoon, Bang TV, J Company, all those folks could have pressed charges because they all had deepfakes, and the state could bring those together. So he now faces up to 31 years in prison because he has doubled the amount he could face for deepfakes, which is 21 years, plus 5 years for obstruction, and 5 years for another obstruction. So 5, 10, and then together, adding in that 21, you got 31 years, right? These are the charges. And once again, I've stated this before, but this does not preclude at all other charges from coming up. Until the day he is sentenced, new charges can be filed. And in this case, we have seen every single month Korea's added something else. And I told you guys this was going to happen. I told you it was going to start light, just the teaser, just the tip of the charge. And then they're going to add more and more, and it's going to get more and more severe. It's going to get more and more severe. He started thinking it was a joke, but here's the thing. He's already pled guilty. He's already a convicted criminal. Now he's facing even more. Korea has absolutely executed this in a beautiful long play. Instead of rushing to get it done, which has its own merits, they have played this out, and they have absolutely emotionally, financially, and physically drained Johnny Somali. Badger Toss, member for 5 months. Welcome, welcome. Rare and Recruit says, how may I submit memes? The best way is either sending them to me on X or my email, andrewesquirelive@gmail.com. Danielle will put that in the chat, and you can just go over and check that out and get those memes in, guys, because I'm a man of the memes. Unhinged Valkyrie said, I support Scuff, the Oops Jar, and Emotional Cabbage. Thank you. Dark Lawrence says, Cabbage Boy, planting shame like it's a toy. No more views, no more noise, just soul guards watching your ploys. I like that. Nice. Rigaby says, reminder, in the first trial, RKI came an hour late due to him drinking and popping pills the night before, then acted like an idiot in court with an oversized suit, Hank suit, and he pled guilty to 3 charges. Yes. And he's probably going to F up in court again. And we're going to watch it because I have people that are going. Vox says, greetings from Austria. Grüß Gott. Grüß Gott. I could go for some good Apfelstrudel right now. And with a melange. Love the suits. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I always try to keep it classy on the stream. Michael McLeod says, with the way the South Korean system is operating, it may take 31 years for him to go to trial. I'm okay with that. No problems detected with that, Mike. Julian67 became a new member. Katie, not Cat, also became a member. Welcome. Michael Rua says, oh, Cabbage Boy, did it again. Yes, he did. Mr. Melancholy said, as someone who is black, he's only making things worse for others. I don't want to go to Japan one day and have people suspicious of me because I don't not come. I know so many people, and I travel all the time to Korea and Japan, who are African American, whatever, and they have a fine time there. Don't let that stop you from coming. And if anything, look, Be the good example. Be the good example. Yes, it takes a lot of good to counter bad, but be one of those people. If we all come together and are setting good examples, that will counter Ramsey. It takes more effort to be good. It does. It takes more effort to make good content. It does. But that will counter him and that will drown him out. And that will show people that he doesn't win. In this, he loses. And he continues to lose. Josh Shrushka says, I believe in O'Toole's law, which states Murphy was an optimist, and so should Somali. Artemis says, please raid into Lydia when she's done. She has donathon. Cool, I will try to do that. Robert Escher says, the scuff was mine, not yours. I was late. Have a good upcoming vacation. Thank you, Robert Escher. Beware of the llama says, don't underestimate stupidity. Thank you. Huge 07 says, you have a doppelganger, Nick Swartzen. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Nasdog says, isn't it possible to lock him up then continue to stack more charges instead of him being free? I think him being free has actually led to more charges. So I know how people feel about this, but I think that these charges were pushed because he was out and acting a fool. I think if he had just been behaving himself and had been behind bars, because once again, if you're behind bars, you can't do anything. I don't think they would have maybe brought everything. I think they might have not brought everything. So, no. And remember, Korea doesn't lock people up before trial unless it's a violent crime or a drug crime. It's really not going to happen. Pirate Skeleton says, hey, Johnny, RKI, was it worth it? Was it, Johnny? Was it, Ramsey? Lumina says, my apologies, won't happen again. All good. Bob Doodle says, are you going to Johnny's trial when that would be? Itozi is not going in May from what I know, but we may go in June or July or August or September or October. Now, I don't know if Itozi is announcing when he's going. I will not be telling anyone when I'm going. That is for multiple reasons, including the fact that Johnny Somali has threatened me multiple times. So I'm not going to tell him when I'm going to be there. I'm just going to be there. Right. So it's going to be like I'm there or I'm not. So I will always have somebody there reporting me exactly what happened. It's either will be me or it'll be somebody that is getting on the phone with me immediately and telling me what's happening. So that's what's going down. And Ivory named Smiles as a new member. Clarificate for Manwan, 10,000 won. To the extent of my knowledge, in Korea, the sentences are not additive, but other crimes are absorbed into one with the heaviest sentence, plus 50% extra, so get circa 50 years at most. That's not really exactly how it works. What it is they give one sentence. So it's not like they're sentenced individually. That's correct. So I think that part you're talking about. I don't know about the 50% extra. However, 15 years is a realistic estimate. So that there's no minimum, but 15 years is realistic. Maximum is probably wishful thinking. So, hoping he's going to get 31 years, he won't get 31 years. Could he get 15? Yes. Could he get 10? Yes. Could he get 5? Yes. At least a year. I mean, come on. Danny gifted 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you. Let's get this. Jesse Rogers with 20.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Thank you for that, Jesse, and please smash the like button. Thank you. Chillax in Chica says for $19.99. Before we get to the next part, and I am going to move on here, I've got 3 more that I'm going to get, and then we're going to move on to the next segment. But says the change in attorney sounds like a bad move. A former civil and criminal defense attorney, as a former civil and criminal, if RKI appeared before me based on the facts thus far, he'd be in trouble. I've enjoyed your insight in the Korean legal system. It's been interesting for me too, and it's been interesting to talk to people. And as an American attorney, I'll talk to people in Korea and I'll ask them, that's how that works? And I will be shocked because it's not the same. Mind you, the Korean system is based on the German system, the Deutsch system. So it is much more similar to Germany than to America. So for my Euro bros and my Euro ladies, you guys are probably more familiar with that system than us Americans. And you understand your legal system works different, and many legal systems work different, even amongst similar countries with similar legal traditions, like the US and England and Canada all have different peculiarities of their systems. Octopunch says for 10, I'm somehow allergic to self-proclaimed evil people. I have a vested interest in being good. Well, that's good to hear. Rockwell Hardness tested boopies for 10, says, what are the chances of him escaping, get away, and be a fugitive? 0. 0. This man is as hard as Jell-O. He has no ability to go out where is he going to go? Is he going to cross the North Korean border? He will die. He will die. Is he going to go to China? He will probably die, right? They will probably shoot him at the border, right? If he was trying to infiltrate China, right? He can't go to Japan. He's banned from that. Where's he going to go to Taiwan? He would never survive that. He would die in the water. It would not work. He has no survival skills. He has the physicality of a 12-year-old girl. No. Final Fantasy says 0 to 5 defeated streak versus 90% conviction rate. I'm just saying. And here's the thing. That's if he pleads not guilty. But his strategy has been to plead guilty. So if he continues to plead guilty, it's not going to end well. Jesse Rogers gave 50 legal mindset memberships. Holy smokes. Thank you so much for that. You know that's going to give him
Emotional, damn it.
emotional cabbage. He's going to the fields with that. Thank you so much. Rio Hoshi said he's the type to keep digging no matter what. Yeah, he's tripling down, guys. He's never stopped. He's never apologized. He's never backed down. Also, Kitty Not Cat, thank you for the 5. Eric H says even O.J. Simpson's lawyers couldn't get him off if he posted a bunch of videos taunting the court. Exactly. And O.J. Simpson wasn't talking during his trial. This is so fascinating as a legal saga. And the reason why I do these updates is because there is stuff happening and it's material to the trial. All this stuff is impacting the trial because the prosecutors are seeing it. The judge is seeing it. Evidence is being submitted. New charges are being added. This is a legal saga unlike anything I have seen in my life in any country. I've never seen anything like this. And it's absolutely fascinating to try to track play by play. Neko Girl 862 says, you, sir, are the perfect combination of professional and savage. I love it. I do try. Jean H. Kruger says, even as for €5, 5 euro, says, even as a German, I'm not really familiar with our legal system. Normal people try to just be nice and not cause trouble. You know what? That's a very good point. Most normal people are not committing enough crimes to be familiar with the legal system. So that's a fair point. But my point is that you would have a little bit more familiarity than perhaps an American. I don't know. Maybe just a tash, ein bisschen, as you might say, ein bisschen. But that's it. Rayombi says, I know Mr. Lawyer, sir. Johnny flees South Korea to the sinking out of Riku Tazumi, the head of DJ Sanji. I can even smell the fires from here. There's nowhere for him to run. And certainly he's banned from Japan, so he can't go there. Random Recruit for 499 says, back sentence for Johnny is like the green 0 and 00 in roulette. The chances are low, but the presence is there. Feeling lucky, Johnny? Yeah, and as an intellectually honest person, as a person who has to report what is factual, I am telling you there is a probability that he gets a suspended sentence. It is probable. It is possible, but not probable. It is possible that Johnny gets a suspended sentence and he doesn't serve any time. It is possible. There is a chance. I think it is less than 1% now. I think it is less than 1%. I think it's a fraction of a percent, but it's technically possible. I do not think it's probable. I think the 90% now is that he is going to get hit. And here's why. Let's go to the new news. And this is the breaking news. A victim has stepped up in the case. Here's the new stuff. Here's the hotness. Here's the stuff you're waiting for, guys. A victim has stepped up. Just today, we have the update that a victim with the surname Kim has officially registered a lawyer with the courts. They have requested all of the documents. They have requested every single thing that's been filed with the court. So that means they get everything. They get the stuff that the prosecutors filed. They get all the information. They get the stuff that we filed. Yes, guys. Yes. We filed information with the Somali conviction team. This team, which, it works very, very hard, has filed information. They got that information. So that is something they're going to see. By the way, I need to do my shameless plug now. It's about time for it. And I have zero shame over here. If you want to support the good work of the Somali conviction team, which I want to give you a little breaker. We are now working on a new filing. So I am not going to tell you what it is. Actually, we have multiple things we can file. We are working on a new filing that will be done very soon, but I'm not going to talk about what it is or or the strategy or anything else. We're coming for them. And if you want to support that, you can go over to my Ko-Fi, Ko-Fi/Andrew Esquire, and drop some cash for the team. Thank you for that. We've been working very diligently to make sure that he lands behind bars. Okay, so let's talk back more about the victim. The victim is probably Bong Bong. Probably. I'm gonna give a 60% chance it's Bong Bong. Now it could be another victim. Kim is a very, very, very common name in South Korea. So it is possible that this is Bong Bong IRL, right? And it's uncommon for a victim to feel so compelled to obtain a lawyer. This means they are seriously bothered by his actions. So to me, if I think about the psychology here, which of the charges has a person who, it has a surname Kim and would be really pissed off about this? Bong Bong. And Johnny Somali literally called her a bitch. We had the tape. We showed the tape where he called her a bitch and said he was going to blackmail her. That was his legal strategy, to blackmail her. Remember, if you go back, I have a stream and there's a video with the Uno reverse. He said he was going to flip charges on her. That is an aggravating factor. Trying to attack a victim is an aggravating factor. So I think there is a very good chance this is Bong Bong who wants to come and say, this is sickening and he tried to blackmail me. And if she comes before the court and says that, Ramsey is fucked. That is the most possible aggravating you can have, is a victim, which, by the way, guys, victims rarely hire a lawyer to get involved in the case. That is super rare, that she's paying money for a lawyer to get involved. Super rare. And the fact that they allowed it, she's in there, and she's 100% going to testify. She's 100% going to testify. Which means, by the way, further delay. That means that the trial will be pushed back yet another month. This adds one more month to the trial. One more month that he is stuck in Korea. Because now there will be an entire day for this victim to testify. Because remember, they keep these trials short. They're like 10, 15 minutes per day. So one day will be the victim report. So now, even if Somali pleaded guilty, even if he comes in on his hands and knees, right, with Hanky Poo watching him from the back, right, and he's like, I am so sorry, I am guilty of everything. Even if he does that, there's no way he gets out of here before late summer, if not fall. No way. It's impossible. There would be a victim day. There would be multiple probably statements from the prosecution. And then there would also be closing arguments. And then you'd have sentencing. So you've got like 4 or 5 months minimum tagged on here. This is not going anywhere soon. This is going very, very long. So this is a severe aggravating factor, which means, once again, making it worse. And I can see this really blowing up on him. Really blowing up. Let me get some of these comments, then we're going to continue, because this actually changes some of the calculus from yesterday about the trial strategy. So I'm going to talk about the lawyer's trial strategy next, but let me get into this. Tormir says, gifted 1, thank you. Robert Von Beek says, do you think there'll be a civil case? Now, this is very interesting. So civil cases are expensive. They require huge deposits. They're very time consuming. So I don't think that they will sue. Some people asked if Bong Bong or Dalgoon would do a civil case, but I don't think they'll do it for the same reason that Johnny and Hank really will be losers if they do a civil case against Dalgoon. Because at the end of the day, with civil judgments in Korea, you can just kind of ignore them, and then you just take a hit to your credit, pretty much. So like they're not gonna put you in a debtor's prison. They don't have those there. So it really isn't gonna have this huge nuclear effect if they do a civil lawsuit. So I don't think there'll be a civil lawsuit. But it's a good question, though. Very good question. Masrova Palma, thank you for the 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Appreciate it.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Also, Tormir says, gifted membership received equals membership gifted. Thank you for paying it forward. Adrian says his legal strategy was blackmail. Yeah. Katie says, Katie Lepso says for $9.99, even if Johnny gets off from going to jail, he's pissed off enough people that someone will end up doing some vigilante justice. I don't condone it, but it's probably what will happen. And that's my take on it. Obviously, I don't condone it. I don't promote it, but it's going to happen, and I state facts. Right? Once again, the thing that happened with Dalgoon, look, should Dalgoon have done it? No. But was it bound to happen? Yes. And I understand the feeling that drives people to do that. Pro Road Channel for 40. CC Tybot says, if the trial will delay, I will riot. No. Don't riot. It's good if it delays. But we'll talk about that in a second. Geodax or Load That Sax has been dealing with things, but it seems to keep going on. Is there a point you get sick and tired of the RKM mines? I do and I don't. I mean, I do want to cover other things. I do. I genuinely do. But I am very invested in this, and it keeps getting crazier. This is not a boring story. This is a crazy story with wild updates at every turn, and I'm here for every second of it. And on this channel, we are going to go through this in the nasty, gritty details of the cabbage fields until he is there farming that cabbage. Adrian Vessa, as a new member, Lenmar says, hey, Andrew, could it also be possible that it was a disabled boy that filed the lawsuit? It is very possible it's other people. So I don't want to say it's for sure Bong Bong, but there is a chance. There is a probability that it's Bong Bong. Okay. So, yeah. All right. Let me see here. Just make sure I've got all the information queued up. Okay. Okay. Just a Rat says, haven't been able to keep up. Isn't it illegal to play any kind of North Korean propaganda during the 9-hour live stream? Was playing. Listen, things can be illegal, and that doesn't mean you'll be prosecuted for it. I know that a lot of people got that one up, but that's based on misinformation from other channels. Once again, you need to listen to accurate information. That's just sorry. That I've been pretty consistent about this, and that he's not going to get prosecuted for the North Korean stuff. It's possible, but at this point, all the signs show they're not going to go for it. So that is something I don't think they're going to go for, because it's something that can make this political, and if it makes it political, it could potentially make it look like he's being unfairly prosecuted. And I don't want his conviction to come under scrutiny for being unfair. This is very fair, and his conviction will be very fair. Vic Quinones for 3 says for 249 Philippine pesos says, just checking, has he done anything that warrants a needle penalty? Not sure about Korean law if they have needle penalty. I think you're talking about death penalty, but no, there's no death penalty. No, it's not going to happen. Captain Colombo for 5 says, when RK apologizes to lessen the sentence, does the prosecution get to play clips? No, they can play everything. The prosecution can play everything for the court. The DCV Titan for 5 says it can and will be worse for Ramsey. All of his own doing, but that just means it gets better for us. I agree. Thunder Rain says, how's it possible to cook yourself this hard? He's trying. Him and Hank, they are a hell of a cooking duo. The King says for 249 Philippine pesos says, I heard Johnny is already a YouTube partner. What is this happening? He's getting paid. He's not getting paid. It's once again, it's more complicated than that. But he is trying to create a fake channel through Hank. He is doing ban evasion, and I'm sure that he's going to get hit on that. But he's not making some wild profits. Don't worry about anything. Katie Lepsto says, how much cream filling with RKI have to be taken in to be classified as a human Twinkie? I think we're going to find out. C. Chan for 698 Singapore says, I wouldn't be surprised if Ramsey trial lasted to 2030. At this rate, by the way, Andrew, I've been busy with my thesis, so this is a good distraction. F you, RKI. Well, good luck on your thesis, C. Chan. Hopefully you crush it. Alex for 199 says, you're a beautiful man. No domo. No domo. I'm here for scuff. Says, Korea is just stuffing RKI inch by bloody inch. Rare Recruit says, this is a joke. It's just that Johnny is the joke. Kapakuro says, could we have professional court artists, the ones that sketch in court, join the team for the next trial? Would be nice to have some visuals. I was looking for one, but we did not find one. We genuinely were looking for one, and we don't. Micah McLeod says, anywhere on the U.S. government stance or statement regarding Ramsey, they have not made one. And that is kind of crazy because they make statements on people that are in fact very guilty sometimes, but they have not made one on RKI. They have left him out to dry. Ray Obi says, if the RKI stuff gets tiring, there's an interesting crash out in VTubing. Owizo, a corpo from South America, is letting all the dirty laundry out in the open about their members. They even went at Rima. I saw that, and I will be covering that. Perez is a new member. Thank you. Adam Ufo says, I've yet to order a year-long supply of popcorn. I got some amazing popcorn here in Bangkok, which I definitely eat to go through this. RW for $9.99 says, I can't figure out how to give memberships. What am I doing wrong? Is my Cabbage Pie computer? I think your computer has a little bit too much.
Emotional cabbage.
Let's see. Jesse Rogers says, I'll have to catch the file later, but thank you, Legal Mindset. My pleasure, and thank you for stopping by. Darth Torlin for 10 says, Legal Mindset, I sent you an email with the song K-pop parody, Cabbage Boy. Would you please share it? It's on YouTube. I will look at it, and I will share it for the next stream. I don't pull stuff up from my email during the streams, but thank you for that. King of the Monsters, thank you for the $0.99, and Closed Game, thank you for becoming a new member. Also, Yazora Ultima said, just woke up, and this makes me smile. Keep up the good work. My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, let's get to the legal strategy, shall we? I'll get all the other comments later. We got 22 of them, but let's talk about the trial delay. I have changed my mind on this. I have flip-flopped like a political candidate on this one. Yesterday, I said I was 60-40 that the trial would be delayed, that there would be a delay in the trial. I am flipping my bet. I'm changing my bet the other way. I think it's 60-40. It happens, and it is not canceled. Here's why. He has lost his public defender. His public defender was the one filing the delays. Number one, I'm not even sure his current attorney knows the rules of delay. He may not. I don't know. And it might just be something he doesn't normally do, so he's unaware with it. So a lot of attorneys aren't aware of it, so maybe he doesn't know. Of course, Ramsey can call him up, or Hank can call him up tomorrow and ask about it and talk about it. Maybe he figures it out. But I'm not sure whether he knows about that as a strategy. That's number one. But beyond that, let's pretend he does know. Here's number two. In the discussions, which were leaked, once again, Ramsey leaked these discussions between his lawyer and himself and Hank. These were leaked publicly on public streams, breaching any confidentiality, waiving all confidentiality in our Bombshell Leaks stream, which we did weeks ago, where we had all of this information. His attorney wants to pursue an aggressive, fast case. He wants to handle it fast. That's been their strategy. So if you want to do something fast, you are not going to delay. You're going to go right away. And if they're really committed to that, then I think we don't have a delay. Then I think it's maybe not. I think we don't have a delay. I think it goes forward. And I think that the attorney says, hey, we're going to press forward, even if I don't know what the fuck is going on, or even if I'm not fully committed. By the way, I will put another 20 bot in the swear jar there. I am sorry about that. I am trying not to swear, as people know on this channel, but it's hard. It's hard with RKI. And I think he may end up having this. So my money is now on him going to trial on the 16th. Now, I could be, of course, I say 60-40 because I think there's still a good chance of a delay, but I think the odds are in favor of no delay. Hollow Shrimp for 500 Argentina. Thank you so much. Says my 12-year-old niece got lost in Argentina's Delta. Ooh, that's crazy. After a storm, 3 days later, she was Mowgli. She even improvised a refuge with a riverboat. That's crazy. I plead guilty of the charge of being a bad influence. Hey, she became stronger. What doesn't kill you does indeed make you stronger. Agnes Tarek as a new member, welcome. Oaktham as a new member, welcome. Michael Rua for $11.99. Ramsey may or may not know he's in the second Somali chart. I think he's desperately wants it to be the first chart, hence the recent crash outs. I think that he is crashing out because he knows that this is not going to be over this month. He really thought it was. I think he thought it was. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, he is facing 6 charges. This is unprecedented. This is absolutely unprecedented to see this amount of charges that he's facing. This is no joke anymore. he was saying all this tough talk about what he was going to do if he was hit with deepfakes, that he was going to fight this, that he was going to be the next O.J. Simpson. This is not going his way. Hader Muin for 100 yen says, I may have a suggestion on the sketch artist. Where can I reach you? Sure, you can reach me at my email, andrewesquirelive@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on X at The Legal Mindset. Either way, The Legal Mindset on X or andrewesquirelive@gmail.com. Either way, thank you. Ziley Gets Sassy says, RKI in the Book of World Records for stupidity. Oyamada says, weird idea. Could Korea play El Salvador to jail RKI after sentencing? It's interesting. I don't know their rules. I don't know the answer to that. That would be funny, though. That would be absolutely hilarious. Kitty Notcat says, paying it back. Thanks to whoever bought my gift membership. Oh, cool. Thank you. Herb Derp says, Korea plays chess while RKI plays patty cake. Mr. Melancholy says, Hank, when Johnny goes bye-bye, lonely, I'm lonely. I have no Johnny for my own. Velociraptor for 5 says, what happens to Ramsey if his bad behavior continues in prison? What is the punishment for that? He's not going to act up in prison. Remember, the reason why he acts up is because the camera is on him. Anybody who has met Ramsey can tell you he is the most passive little puppy dog when the camera is off. He is so agreeable. He's so nice. He does everything. He just lies when the camera's off. But he becomes the Johnny Somali character, right? After. But at this point, the thing is, these identities have merged. Ramsey Khalid Ismail and Johnny Somali are one and the same. And in the eyes of the court, you can't just say it's a joke. You can't just say I'm a character. That doesn't get you out of committing crimes. You don't get to commit crimes because you're in character. That's insanity. That's absolute insanity. Ethrunder says it will be fun if his private attorney delays the hearing again to give him time learning the other case he's in charge with. It's possible. I don't think it's going to happen, but it is possible. That is a very strong possibility as well. Karl-Heinz Grabowski says, Grüß Scott, Andrew. At this rate, with the new charges popping up every month, we'll be sitting here in 2026 watching trial updates. I'm fine with that. I'm kind of fine with that. Ethrunder says for 500 yen, it would be fun if his private attorney delays the hearing again to give him time learning the other cases he's in charge with. And I would understand if he did that. I would absolutely understand if he did that. Marshall Jed Cooper says, now he's a lawyer for his taxes. Can he work? No, he cannot work. It's not permitted. But he can, once again, he can do it anyways, but he shouldn't be doing it. Sushi Cake for 2 says, Hank and RKI are the best anti-contraceptive ads. Perez says, hey, great stuff. Hope you're doing well. I am. I'm glad to be back in my main studio. Look at this. The main studio. I got my full suit collection today. You know, we're doing good. I love this studio. It's so much better. I got my professional lighting. I got my second monitor. I probably need a third monitor. It's great. Suna Soul Silver says, this is what happens when you mess up with Korea. When you mess with Korea, especially when they have a concept of a concept of emotional grief and resentment as part of their culture. Michael Immer, Crazy Sharp, says, when I go to visit the wife's family in Japan, you should come too. 2 giants in her hometown will get some serious attention. I visit Japan often. I will be doing meetups in Korea and Japan at some point. I will let everybody know. Dark Now for 20 says, I wonder if the public defender is celebrating the fact they don't have to have this case anymore. I'm sure he is cracking a bottle of soju. Danny says, mods, clip that he said it's insanity. Absolute insanity. Clip it. I think Eagle will get on that one. Amateur Ant says, any news on the POS Vitaly? Yes, that's for another stream. Ryobi says, nah, Johnny is a boy toy, while Hank is Shrek from Shrek. Is love, Shrek is life. The only difference is Hank Ramsey needs some milk. The soy doesn't do. Nona SOF for 5 says, my understanding that Korean and Chinese people share kinship with regards to Japan's war crimes. And RK is going to be with the Chinese criminals. He will indeed be in Chonan prison, which is primarily Chinese criminals. Michael Rua for $5.99 says, in the Netherlands, at least most businesses and shops have CCTVs. I imagine Korea is similar. Korea is beyond the Netherlands. Korea has so many CCTVs, it is actually insane. You cannot go anywhere without one of your crimes being documented. And one of the reasons why we have so many crimes here is because this is all caught on candid camera. This is all on CCTV. So yes, there are a ton of CCTVs. Yes. Del Floofy Cat says, my cats play with prey, much like Korean courts. Michael Turner for 5 says, the only place RKI can sail to is Davy Jones' locker. Oof. Big oof. By the way, speaking of sailing, if you guys could sail over to the like button, we have 7,000 people here and only 1,711 likes. So please sail on over to that, and I will deeply appreciate that because it really does help out, and I do appreciate that very, very much. Let's see. Jillone Thomas says, "Do you think Johnny is committing more crimes to postpone the inevitable of getting sentenced, since the trial keeps getting delayed over and over?" Actually, I think it's part of the Somali attention cycle. So I'm going to go to my other PowerPoint here because of course, I have PowerPoints for everything, as you guys know. I think the reason why Johnny does it is because he cannot control himself, and he is a slave to the attention cycle, and he needs to go and needs to be seen constantly in order to keep that cycle going. Remember, this is what was happening normally for Johnny. So Johnny would do something insane, right? He would do something insane. He would act out. Rage would ensue. There would be no coverage. Before me, this is when he was in Japan, when he was in Israel, there was no coverage. When, Atozi, I wasn't covering it. And then the heat dies down and he gets away. Now that we have cabbages, he acts out, rage ensues, we cover it, it goes viral, Atozi covers it, Asmongold's covering it, Nux is covering it, Mujin's covering it. I mean, a lot of huge channels cover this stuff. Rotten Mango covered this. So we have a lot of big creators covering this. National News in Korea covers it, and the pressure is increasing on him. So he can't help himself from acting out. That acting out phase is always going to happen. The only difference is that he's getting punished for it. But he's even said in his own interviews, Johnny has said he cannot help himself. He is addicted to the clout. He is addicted to it. It's like crack cocaine for him, and he can't quit it. Reverend's Disciple became a new member. Michael W. said, "Just sent you a court sketch." Oh, thank you. Black Demon says, "I mean, if a lawyer tells me to go, like, I better..." Yeah, I mean, if a lawyer tells you something, listen. Generally. Exorcist for 10 says, "At this point, Somali should ask for trial by combat. He would lose. He is 5'1", 5'2". He's a midget. He would not do well. He has a wrist that is thinner than a phone, right? It's pathetic." Kwang Lee for 5 says, "Arcan keeps digging himself into trouble. We'll give YouTubers who cover this shenanigan to make enough videos to put their kids through college. Get them Bugattis. I mean, it's great." Amanda Main says, "He better get used to men watching him from the back." Otaku says, "The cabbage fields are even closer than before." Absolutely. Big Buddha says, "Do you remember Jackie Chan Adventures? One more thing, one more month." Lex Ludo. I do remember that, by the way, Big Buddhist. So if American case takes 7 days to get stretched to 7 months in the ROK, does that mean a 1-year-old puppy in Korea is 49? No, but do you know about Korean age? Did you know that in Korea, all babies are born 1 year old? So you are always a little bit older in Korea because it's the year you come out, you get one, right? So you're always a little bit older. Shoro says, "I declare we must establish the sacred oath of the swear jar centuries. We must keep watch." Mattia D says, "Hypothetically, if someone filed a civil suit, would he be stuck there until it's paid?" Maybe, maybe not. It depends. Maybe not. It really depends. The travel ban could be lifted. It's not clear. Rymoon Gamer, welcome as a new member. Revan's Disciple as a member said, "Renewed membership. Hey, Ramsey, vasectomy. Oof. Really nipping him in the balls." Near for 25 says, "Israel here. Sorry for releasing him." No, it's all good. I get that. So thank you for the 25 shekels. I listen. I don't blame Israel or Japan for going light and just deporting him and giving him some minor time. But now we know better, and now we need to do better, right? I mean, you didn't know, and people thought maybe he would stop with a light punishment, but instead he's gotten worse. He's only gotten worse. Ian Fenn said, "It's sad seeing an obviously immature RKI destroying his life. The only positive is he will grow up in prison." Indeed, he will. And let's see here. Angel Chase says, "What I find very fascinating is the fact that this case is very unique and will likely have a unique sentence. Depends on whether he pisses off the judge." He's been pissing off not just the judge, but everybody. Remember, he made fun of the judge's accent. He made fun of the bailiff. He has done nothing but continually make fun of people all throughout this process. So yeah, it's not looking good for him, is what I would say. It's really not looking good. Okay, let me see here. Do I got this thing set up correctly? So I think I got all of the questions here. So what I want to direct you guys to is, if you guys have some time, I'm going to put this in the chat. If you want the abbreviated version, I am launching what I call my Fast Facts series. You guys can go over here and check that out. That will premiere. I'm going to have that premiere right after this ends in 4 minutes. That is going to be a quick version of this, which everyone will be able to get into and get that. I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can have that and drop that if you want to check that out. But until next time, guys, let's get this one last super chat. Ella Cancion says, what do you mean Johnny is 5'1", so small? You can fit in a small bag and escape to North Korea. You know what's also small? Landmines. And landmines would definitely have Johnny coping and seething. Let's take it easy, guys. Take care. Oh, Yakuza Penguin says, after this RKI mental health conversation, I'm curious if South Korea does not have legal options similar to the Baker Act. They do, but he does not qualify for them. That said, let's leave with some coping and seething.
You are coping and seething. You just can't believe what you're seeing. It's you coping and seething. The truth it is all day, and now you are more than you're coping so hard. Coping and seething. Coping and seething.